mentioned sharp objects, unprotected sex. What else?
There are what I call key populations. Those who are at risk beyond the normal method of contracting HIV. There are those who are at higher risks of contracting.
Like newborn babies.
No, what they call gay.
Oh, okay. So
gay,
you
transgender.
If I understand,
commercial sex workers.
Yeah.
So those are people who are at risk. Then those who military people because of long distance travelers.
See, it still boils down to unprotected sex. Yes, if you want to look at it, commercial workers, unprotected sex, and gay people, unprotected. Is that sex? I wonder if it is unprotected.
We're talking about the drivers. What drives the increased prevalence? Then back to Rivers State. Rivers State or
the South.
You are aware Rivers State or South is where the crude oil.
Okay.
Yes, we have crude oil deposit here.
All right.
And it comes with a lot of socio-economic activity. We have the refinery, transportation, lorries, trailers, seaports, airports. So those are some of the factors that drives the increased prevalence of HIV. It goes with money. It goes with money. HIV drives poverty, while poverty drives HIV spread.
So both of them are
interwoven.
Yes. But see, now my question is this: we know. I mean, yes, you've given us the drivers, and I'm grateful for that because a lot of people should know all of this now. But the point is, we know whether you're gay, which of course is a crime, 14 years, or whether you're a commercial sex worker, it is common knowledge now, like you mentioned earlier. Use protection. Use the condom. But yet, it looks as if there is the attitude of indifference when it comes to playing it safe. Whether in saloons, generally. What do you think is the reason for such an attitude? Because I've had a night show, and I asked the question, how many of you still have sex without condoms? And it was a terrible night for me. It was a terrible night for me. So what do you think could be the reason for the attitude of the Southerners towards protecting themselves from this virus?
Well, you won't say that they are not protecting themselves. But I think sometimes the condom could be thought in the process as a result of violent activity.
Okay.
Yes, traumatic sexual intercourse. I
see. All right.
So beyond the fact that a condom is used, then some people are not satisfied with the condom. Some people react to condom. Both sides. Some female maids don't like use of condom.
So in such cases, because now we're looking at it holistically, in such cases where I react to condom, how do I protect myself from the virus?
That's what they say, abstinence.
That's a wonderful one, abstinence. But then again, you told us some factors. You told us the oil richness in our land and the economic activities, and so these are factors that would not want us to abstain. These are some of the factors you pointed out.
Yes, the socio-economic, the social dynamics of the increased prevalence of HIV that affects those of us in the South is this. Whether I like it or not, we live in a competitive world. People tend to do things to impress other persons.
I see.
The job is not there. You need money for other things. And sometimes people compromise your principle. Like I'm talking to you now today, it's more among the adolescents between 10 to 25. The HIV, the prevalence is 3 times in female compared to the male counterparts. So because of the activity to meet up our needs, sometimes they are exposed commercial sexual sex workers on both sides, though, to get money to do some things, to solve some of their problems, could be some of the social factors that is responsible for the increased prevalence of HIV in the South region. Then in 2015, as part of the Millennium Development Goals, HIV was a mark for eradication by 2013.
All right.
And Nigeria, being a member of WHO, also have their own role to play. So far with the current prevalence rate, I think there's progress towards the eradication of HIV transmission.
Is it possible to eradicate HIV? I mean, I asked the question, and you just somehow give me reasons why it is almost impossible to stop the transmission.
What I said was why there's increase the prevalence in South is more compared to other regions of the country. But holistically, at national level, I think progress is being made. There was a time it was like 5.6% prevalence.
All right, so we are winning the battle.
Yes, we are winning the battle, and now as part of as part of drive towards the control of HIV, now they are trying to. This year's own is a power to the people.
All right.
They are trying
That's
to
the
make
theme.
they are trying to make the HIV treatment, control, prevention. They want to take it to the community.
All right.
Like now, they are looking at the situation whereby 30% of treatment, control, testing would be done by the community.
All right.
They're also looking at a situation whereby 6% of the funding for the control of HIV will also go to the community. So they are looking at people trying to come up to partake as partner. Before, usually it was between the government and foreign donors. But this year's own, they're looking at a situation whereby
everybody becomes a partner to this movement.
Yes.
But then again, my question is, just like Nigeria, we are polio free. I mean, just like polio, Nigeria is polio free.
Yes.
Can we be HIV/AIDS free? I'm saying, okay, yes, we have this group of people who already have it, but can we, kind of leave it there?
It's possible. Because as it stands now, the mother to child the mother to child transmission is under control now.
All right.
But that was one of the means
of transmitting
the HIV to children.
All right.
Now, because every pregnant one that comes for antenatal care in a center, not outside, like not in the TBS, like in the hospital, everyone is supposed to go for HIV screening.
Right.
Then for those who are found to have been HIV positive, they are commenced on antiretroviral treatment.
All right.
The essence of the treatment is to prevent mother to child transmission. So as far as we are concerned, that the prevalence for children less than 15 years old in Nigeria is 0.6% or thereabout. I think we are winning the battle.
All right. We're winning the battle, but can the battle be totally won? That's what we would see in future. But then again, I have one question. You talked about mother to child transmission. What about a situation where the partner, one partner has the virus and the other partner doesn't?
Discordant couples.
Is there any possible way to stop the transmission from the carrier to the other person?
Yes, there are. Number one is what they call use of condom.
All right.
Number two is the woman, for the person who is the partner who is HIV positive will be on treatment, antiretroviral treatment. Then for the partner who is not positive will also be on what they call pre-exposure prophylaxis.
Oh my! So it helps the person.
Yes. So it prevents. What it does, it prevents the infection
from coming into the body.
Yes.
So as I am seated here, I can start taking the what did you call it?
For those who are pre-exposure prophylactics.
So I can just walk into a pharmacy and get it.
No, for those who are at risk. It's for those who are.
I'm at risk. I'm in the south.
Occupationally,
I'm in the south. I'm at risk.
No. Occupationally, they are not at risk. It's for those who are in the hospital. Probably they could be injured by sharps.
I use blades, to cut my hair.
But I think the rate of transmission for those who use who barb in the public, I think is very minimal.
Yes,
it's very minimal, very minimal. So,
but you can never be totally safe. So why can let me understand. So the pre-exposure
prophylaxis
is just for
those
health workers.
No, I've told you now. For those who are
married
discordant
couple.
The discordant couple. Then beyond that, there's a called time sex, time intercourse.
Wow.
Yes, for those like now, they could be using condom over the years, but when they want to get pregnant,
They need to.
they will just calculate when to go, just calculate the menstrual cycle, then to go natural.
So it doesn't. When they're in the
Yeah,
ovulation period,
yes, yes.
they can't transmit the virus.
Not that it can't transmit, but the chances is very minimal.
Interesting.
That's because time intercourse.
Interesting. So somebody who's married to a carrier does not need to fear and divorce his carrier.
No. As far as the person is even taking as a matter of fact, if the HIV positive partner is on use of a drug,
right,
the essence of it is one of the things they want to achieve is called viral suppression. A time comes when the virus cannot be transmitted.
Interesting.
Yes, there's a way the viral load is suppressed, shows that it can't be transmitted. So the HIV positive partner keeps taking our drugs. These are our drugs. Yeah.
I'm going to take a pause now and allow the listeners, because this is so much information. I mean, this is so much information for me, and I know the listeners also are out there. If you have any question, I mean, it's the World HIV/AIDS Day. If you have any question for yourself, for your family members, your colleagues, this is that time when you get to call in and ask the doctor in the house and let him use his expertise to teach us a thing or two. And of course, the numbers once again are 0817 0000951 and 0810 You can send in your WhatsApp messages to the number 0701 Doc, talking about HIV and AIDS, how long does it take, for the HIV to transform into AIDS, if you're not going through the required treatment? But first of all, that's what, let me take this call. 95.1 FM.
Hello, Canada. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, please, temperature calling from Onega.
Temperature calling from Onelga.
Yes, Tonel.
All right, welcome.
Thank you. I've heard what the doctor is saying. So I have a question for him. Concerning, he said that the HIV is free, that the world is taking care of that section.
The control, the cure, the medicines and all the
retroviral drugs.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is why I'm asking to know the place where it can be easy to find them. Because right now, at least I have a relation that has that HIV, and the thing has even transferred to her child. So yes, that is why I'm calling.
All right, just listen, and the doc in the house will answer your question then.
Okay.
All right.
I think where to assess treatment of HIV in the primary care center, depending on the location of the person,
victim, the carrier.
Yes. I think in general hospitals all over the states, you can have access to treatment, as well as primary care centers.
Okay.
Then at the tertiary level, UPTH, then BMSH, as well as Health of the Sick.
Health of the Sick, which is that one?
At Mpogo.
Mpogo, all right. Yeah. So at the primary level, any general hospital?
At the primary level, there are health centers all over the states,
all right,
where someone can have access. If you get there, if they're not offering the service, they will direct him or her to where they can get the service.
All right.
Then look at the secondary level of healthcare in the general hospitals. The facility, there is personnel for management of HIV patients.
All right.
Then at the tertiary level, there are also people to take care of. To provide drugs.
But before I want to ask you based on that one, but I'll get back to that. But let's go to, I asked the question, how long does it take for HIV? Because this person obviously has not been taking antiretroviral drugs, which would mean that the person might, be allowing that virus transform into AIDS. How long is the time frame for HIV to become AIDS?
It varies. It varies.
All right, then.
Yes, some people could come down with it within a year. Some people will come down with it 10, maybe up to 10 years. Yeah, some people say even haven't been exposed to it, they may not even be infected. But there's a gene that militate against the manifestation or infection of
So
the HIV.
until that one
So
is destroyed,
it varies.
until that gene is
Some
destroyed.
it can't. It's genetic. It can't.
Oh my. Okay. So some people it takes up to 10 years before it
Yes, some people 1 year, 2 years.
I'm talking about without taking the antiretroviral drugs. Interesting.
And HIV has caused untold suffering. People have died. People have been rendered fatherless. People's career, people's destinies has been tampered with because of the death of their loved ones, unactualized potentials and dreams, and the rest of it. So it's an issue of public health importance, and that's why so much fund
is being put into it.
Yes.
But now let's go back to the primary and secondary health system.
Yes.
How efficient are they in terms of fighting? Because this HIV/AIDS is like a wildfire. If not contained, it might just burn across every part of the region, the geopolitical region. So how efficient do you think, in your own observation? I'm not asking you to kick your sector in the butt, but I'm just asking, how efficient are these primary and secondary institutions?
No, they are very efficient in terms of delivering of service, to the best of my knowledge. They are there. They have doctors, nurses there. They have lab scientists in designated centers where they do the management and treatment. But sometimes, because of the stigmatization that comes with it, some people travel to another local government to get treatment, which is also has its own cost implications.
Yeah, it's cost training.
Both resource in terms of money, manpower, time, when you have to travel to a far distance. But I think when Goodluck Jonathan signed a bill against discrimination of
I remember.
Yes, so as it stands now, nobody should be discriminated or stigmatized.
Talking about stigma,
even at the place of work, it shouldn't be disengaged from your work simply because somebody is HIV positive.
No, talking about stigma.
No, that's one of the driver of HIV death related cases, increased new infection, increased prevalence.
All right. So now, talking about stigma, I was going to say that a bill will not be enough to stop the people, because then again, it is a mental thing. How can we, all of us who are stakeholders, the health workers, the media, everyone person, how can we educate the people that there is no need for us to stigmatize people who are carriers of this virus? Because then again, HIV is not the end of the world. But then again, all that, what's this called? 95.1fm.
Hello, sir.
Yes, good evening to you.
Pastor, good evening. So, Pastor, I want to.
This is not a pastor. This is doctors in the house. You're tuned to Today95.1 FM. Do you know where you are?
Okay.
All right. Sorry, I think it's calling the wrong station. But then again, I asked a question, and I was asking. I say, how do we educate the people to understand that they don't need to stigmatize? Let's say I'm a carrier. That I don't need the stigma, that what I do need is encouragement. Because once again, like I said, the bill is not enough, or a law is not enough. There's so many laws in Nigeria. How many of them are being followed?
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, it's simple. It's simple. Before the testing, there's usually a counseling section where the client is informed or educated on HIV, means of transmission, the effects, and all that. So by counseling the patient on what HIV is all about at its own level, that is one way. Another way is the approach to such a group of person. Like, if I know that somebody is HIV positive, I should not say because the person is HIV positive, I will avoid the person. No, it shouldn't be. Another way is that they have what we call focus group. For those who are HIV positive, they have a fora. Some of them have a fora where they meet. and discuss issues that affect them collectively.
All right.
Yes. So those are some of the ways that the issue of stigmatization could be minimized or reduced.
All right, then. This is what we call it a wrap because it's
soon.
time. Yeah, it's time for us to go for the next show. Youth Arise is up next. But then again, we've learned a lot of things on the show. I mean, we've gone beyond just talking about HIV can be transmitted from sharp objects, sexual intercourse. No, we've gone way beyond that. We talked about statistics, and we said that the South region is the region with the highest prevalence
yes.
of HIV/AIDS, and and the doc in the house told us some of the reasons why. He said because of the economic activities and how all of you in this region, and I'm not in this region right now, all of you in this region like to have fun and enjoy yourselves, and that some people react to condoms, and some people are raped and all of those other things, and those are some of the reasons why this level of prevalence happens in the South region. But we also learned that there are ways to actually stop the transmission of HIV/AIDS from the mother to child and from a carrier partner to a non-carrier partner. And, we call the names, we call the drugs. And we also learned that if you really want to get care and control of that virus, maybe you are a carrier, you should go to any of the general hospitals in the secondary level of the health sector. You can go to the what do you call it now? There's the new name for it.
River State University Hospital.
Okay.
Then I think beyond that, there's this voluntary testing and counseling. Voluntary people should just come out and try to get tested for HIV. It's very important.
All right then. And then remember, you don't have it doesn't mean you should stigmatize the other person. Please, no stigmatization. Be your brother's keeper. And that's how we wrap it up. You've just listened to Dr. Noble, who is, what's that title again? Is a member of the Association of Residents Doctor, and he's a, I forgot. It's been long. You're the registrar in the association, yeah?
I'm a member of the EROD for now.
Okay, and then you're the registrar
I'm a registrar.
I mean, this title. I should go get my own doctor's degree, All right, thank you. Stay tuned for Youth Arise on Today 95.1 FM, and I'll be your host.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
For years, the needs of the youths have been speculated on.
The political system in our country has made it so difficult for youth to acquire the ability leading well when the tomorrow comes.
By politicians, school administrators, heads of states, and even parents.
Why listen to them?
Let's change the narrative. Youth Arise. The show powered by the youths, presenting a platform that focuses on their peculiar challenges. It happens every Sunday by 7 p.m. only on Today.
95.1 FM.
You, stop there. Park your car now.
Why? I don't understand.
How well do you know your rights?
Hey you are under arrest.
This is wrong. I know written in the Constitution.
Are you well versed in the Constitution? Knowledge, they say, is power. Your premium talk radio presents The Law Today. The Law Today. It is didactic, interactive, informative, and instructive. The Law Today, Sundays 8:20 p.m. on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Voice of the people. Voice of the people.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
For years, the needs of the youths have been speculated on.
The political system in our country has made it so difficult for youth to acquire the ability leading well when the tomorrow comes.
By politicians, school administrators, heads of states, and even parents.
Why listen to them? Listen to them.
Let's change the narrative. Youth Arise. The show powered by the youths, presenting a platform that focuses on their peculiar challenges. It happens every Sunday by 7 p.m. only on Today.
95.1 FM.
All right. Good evening to you once again. 6 minutes gone past the hour of 7 p.m. All right. Welcome to Youth Arise on your premium talk radio station. I mean, we are the voice of the people. We give you that platform, to air your views on certain trending issues and certain political and very important issues, pertinent issues. And on Youth Arise, we try our best possible to talk about issues pertaining to youths and how we can develop our youth system. Now, I remember one time on this very show, we talked about, youth's involvement in politics. I think that was towards the end of last year. And when we talked about the not too young to run. And then we saw a lot of young people go into politics. A lot of them, went into politics. And we've seen some of them do great. We've seen some of them do poorly and misrepresent the young people in our society. But basically, I'm just saying that we have had victories. We've had times when we lost, but we've had victories in the cause of the young people's movement. I like to call it that. In the beginning of the year, what was reigning was Mercedes-Benz. How a lot of young people were, delving into fraudulent activities. We're trying to get themselves up there in the, the high cadre of society and trying to ensure that people call them the big boys and the big girls. And we saw a lot of slay queens, and a lot of them went mad. A lot of them went mad because they lost their panties, their Hondas. A lot of them went mad. But then again, we moved. We moved from all of that, and we moved into kidnapping and cultism. I mean, towards that period when the election was rife, we saw young people become tools in the hands of the elderly. And a lot of the times on Youth Arise, we would ask the question, who is to blame? Is it the older people in society who will not allow the young people rule? Or is it the younger people in society who are, what's the word now? Groping in the dark. Because, things like online betting, things like cultism and philandering has blinded their eyes and they cannot see far. But that was towards the, mid part of the year, March, April, May. And when the elections were far gone, our young people got lost in translation. Yeah, they got lost in translation. Now, what were they more concerned about? Big Brother Ninja. Big Brother Ninja. Who will win and who will not win? And you see, they displayed their sensibilities, whether it was foolishness or whether it was wisdom. It's left for you to decide or choose, but they displayed their sensibilities on social media when they trolled themselves. Oh, I am a Titan. No, I am a Pepe them. I don't even know what they were talking about, but they were all over social media and they were all over, showing themselves. And even after the Big Brother Ninja, and of course, no offense. I mean, if you are a fan, keep doing it. I mean, who am I to tell you not to do it? Keep doing your thing. Keep doing your thing. But then again, I mean, while they were shouting Big Brother Ninja, they were closing the borders. While they were shouting 60 million for Messi, 60 million for Tasha, the bags of rice were increasing. Inflation was getting high. I'm not saying it's any political leader's fault. I'm just saying while they were more concerned about, these other things were happening. And I've been looking. I mean, I've been looking at how far the young people have come in 2019. I've been looking because every time we kept silent, it looks as if a particular class of people got more power. Every time we failed to talk and made muffled sounds, and all the times we could only shout on the keypads of our Twitter accounts or the keypads of our Facebook accounts, other people were becoming more powerful in society. And like I said, I heard that the bag of rice right about now is about 35,000 naira, and that would mean that some of you will not eat for Christmas. No offense. No, I'm not here to make you angry or something. And that's because the larger group in our society, which is the youth, which comprises of, I hear, 16 to 35 years of age, have, decided to distract themselves with irrelevant, okay, Kalada, hold yourself. Have decided to distract themselves with certain things like, who will win 60 million or who will not win 60 million, or who's driving the latest Benz or who's not driving the latest Benz, or defending some Yahoo boys, and that's what a lot of young people did that. Defend Yahoo boys this year. The government is stealing. The government they are the first Yahoo people. I beg, allow them. Who is mom? I did not say it's a Yahoo boy. I did not say anything. I'm just saying. So basically, I am in a what's the word now? The word is not entering my mouth. Retrospect. Okay, so I'm in a retrospective mood. Retrospective mood, and I want to look at how far our young people have come. I saw the NECO, the statistics for people who passed NECO. It wasn't really, there was no. I think there was a decline in, the number of students who passed. I saw, the JAM as well, and I feel like there's not much improvement. So the statistics for education shows that our young people are suffering. I mean, I don't know who to blame. I don't know if it's the government just not giving them the right materials and right environment or ambience for education. I mean, the curriculum is 1960. No, sorry. 1960. That's the curriculum you're using. I mean, who still does C++ when people are talking artificial intelligence? Yeah, you get where I'm coming from, right? So I don't know if to blame the government or if to blame the young people, but in the education sector, you're doing poorly. Today's HIV/AIDS Day, right? And I just finished speaking to the doc, and he said that the statistics in the South, blame it on the grooving. But then again, it's high. It is very high. It's up there. And the young people are the ones who are enjoying this thing because, I mean, go to the club on a Monday, you see them. Go to the club on a Tuesday, you see them. Go to the club on a Wednesday, you see them. And yet there's no money in society. Oh my. If you let me, I will rant all through the show and just tell you how well the young people are faring in society. But hold up. Before you change the dial, this is where I need the wisdom of the parents. I need the wisdom of the elders. I need the wisdom of the pastors. I need the wisdom of young people. I mean, who better to tell us how they pinch you than the person with the thing they pinch? If you understand the pidgin that I'm speaking. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to hype myself. I've been having a bad day. And I'm trying to hype myself on the show. I'm Canada, in case you've not met me. I am your guy on radio. Yes, I'm the guy who makes your radio fun. And I'm not alone in the studio. I've got with me two gentlemen. Of course, the ladies have deserted us. Today is World HIV/AIDS Day, so they don't want to contact viruses from us. So, yeah, they didn't come in. I have with me Marcus, Friday, and Priye Zogo. I have a friend whose name is Izuguzo. So whenever I see your name, I remember Izuguzo, and I'm always trying not to mention Izuguzo. But thank you very much, guys, for coming in.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You guys are young people. I mean, apart from all of you having more hairs on your jaws than I have, but you all are young people. And first question. 2019, very eventful year for young people.
Yeah.
What can you describe the mentality of the young Nigerian as? That's my first question. And that's my most important question, by the way. Let's go with
The mentality of the Nigerian youth.
Yeah.
First of all, you forgot one a particular angle for the negative side. When
I didn't take any side.
For the negative side, when ladies were losing their lives in hotel rooms, ladies, and it's painful. It's quite painful.
Yeah.
Not just one incident. It happened
but to that one, I cannot really talk much about it because we've not come to the conclusion of that very case because it's in court.
Yeah.
And so
but I'm saying our ladies are suffering. Young people are suffering, basically.
Dying. But you see. Okay. I get to that point.
Yeah.
I'm not going to blame the ladies. I'm not going to blame I'm not going to blame anybody. But you see,
things are getting bad for the youth.
Yet again, they were distracted with Big Brother Nigeria at the time, and instead of asking the police to to raise security, because that was the period we were having security challenges. But yet again, I still, like I said, the young people distracted. But what is your take on it? What's your view? You are a young person. You interact with a lot of young people. You spend time with a lot of young people. What is your view on the mentality of the young person, whether from the education spectrum, whether from health spectrum, because I want to know how young people take care of their health, whether from the home front, and of course the family is the bedrock of society, because from the family it spreads across to the rest of society. So I want to get your view.
For me, when it comes to different sectors in Nigerian society, how the youth fare, I would say for the educational angle, it has not been that great. It has not been that great, if I would say that, because we are not improving when it comes to curriculum the way other nations are moving. The youth in Nigeria, we are not on that level. Then when it comes to the political angle, because 2019 was actually an election year for Nigeria, we did participate. Youth participated. We saw some won, some lost. We even saw the ministerial nomination where we felt some youth would be included, like much, but we are still not there.
Maybe the president did not see any youths to appoint. I mean, even in the Ministry of Youth, because they were all busy voting for who will win Big Brother. Why do I keep going there? But or they were very much busy with pressing computers to get money from Obodo Ibo.
So for that angle, we didn't do actually well. But for the entertainment scene, I think there was an improvement, major improvement. Movies, music.
I was that influencer society, because when you say we did well, it has to have that influential power where you say, okay, it changed the lives of as many young people in society.
I think entrepreneurs that are in that sector enjoyed a lot, because during the last there was an analysis on the economy of Nigeria, and they said there was an impact of the entertainment industry.
But what about the content of the entertainment that is being produced? Do you think it pushed the young people more into darkness, into the lacuna, or do you think it liberated them from darkness?
When it comes to content, I think it didn't do that great, but the entrepreneurs per se, they made money as young persons.
That's your view. Let's get to hear from you, Marcus, Friday.
Okay, of course, taking 2019 in retrospect, within the year, a whole lot has gone than there. And I don't think we, as the youths of Nigeria, we actually did competitively very well compared to other youths in
The rest of the world.
Rest of the world.
Right.
Owing to the fact that the government have its own part to be blamed, the youths have their part to be blamed, and then the family, the home front have its part to be blamed as well, because when the youth is said to not do well or have not done well, it means that the society entirely has contributed in one way or the other, either in their formation age or stage of their life. What kind of information were they fed with? What kind of exposures was given to them during their early years of education and all of that. So that alone equally contributed to. So I would say on their mentality and thinking pattern of the youth, it hasn't been that great compared to what is expected of us.
All right. So young people clamored for, for example, Sex for Grades, Kiki Modi, the journalist who works with the BBC media to, bring a lot of lecturers to order. Even if I must say, some things might still be going on the ground. Yeah, but then again, we saw young people do great things like that. We saw young people. It was also a young person who clamored, and now we have a sex offenders list in Nigeria. Yeah. It's still young people who clamored, and a lot of them are beginning to hold political leaders to account. I mean, for example, the DSS not wanting to grant Showery bail. There were young people who went there and said, you know what, and made Nigerians realize that it is, bigger than we thought it was.
From that perspective, then I would say that there has been a kind of awareness among the youth in the recent time compared to what has been in other times. There has been a political awareness, kind of our rights. We are coming to realize what important role we can play to ensure that the governments wake up to their responsibilities. But I don't think we've equally done enough in terms of holding our government responsible and accountable as well.
I think now we are quite aware online, social media. I think we should translate what we do online into reality.
But that's where the problem is. I was going to go there because he made a very wonderful point where he said that people have become aware, and I agree with him. Now you see, like I said, they were distracted for too long in 2019, and then the government began to make policies. I wouldn't say anti-government policies because I don't have an opinion. I'm not supposed to have an opinion, and so I try not to have an opinion on certain issues. Now, but a lot of people have cried out that the social media bill and the hate speech bill is anti-people. It's going to gag the voices of the people.
Okay.
And a lot of people are rising up. Like you said, there's the awareness, and the people are coming together. But now the problem, the qualms for me is that the people are only gathering on social media. They're only gathering on hashtags, They're only gathering on, hey, I got followers on Twitter, I got followers on Twitter, so anything I say is, but that's where it ends. How do we make them realize that there's a reality to face? Because I saw, was it the Akwa Ibom State University? I don't know. Is it River State University? I can't remember. But there was a state university where the young people are angry. They're livid because there's an increment in tuition fees.
Okay.
So the truth is, the young people have been idle for too long, or maybe stood in at Kimbo for too long, and things have happened. How do we, in your own opinions, I need your 2 kobos. In English you say 2 cents, but I'm a Nigerian, so I'll say 2 kobo. I need your 2 kobos on how do we translate that pressure, that energy, that vibrancy, that ebullience, is it ebullient or ebullience, whatever the word is. How do we cause that paradigm shift from the social media, from the keypads to reality? And because yet again, if you look at the population, about 50 to 60% or even 70%, like I don't have it at the fingertips now, are young people. How do we transform that energy into reality and cause these people to be up and running?
Kalada, very, very simple, though not that easy. One of the things that we must do is to come together. Now, several times when youth gather, we've gathered, or youth has gathered most often times for the negative things. But I think if there is a paradigm shift and we begin to see what can we do to contribute positively to the development of our society, and then we discuss on these things when we meet in our several gatherings, even as student union bodies and all of that, and we thought was a part of developing our society. That will make us to look at what can we contribute to the society, and how then can we be able to make our government to become more accountable to us. Now, when these gatherings are not formed, or when we don't meet for anything of this form, then in a way the godfatherism there will always use that to decentralize us. Now, since there is no one voice among the youth, there's no way we can come up and say, okay, this thing we don't want in our society, therefore it should never for any reason continue. And when there's no such front, then we become paralyzed.
Right.
Yes.
All right. What about you?
For me, I think it's in two ways. It happened in Hong Kong. It was basically on social media before, when they had no democratic say. The pro-democratic movement started online. I think with time, when the frustration start getting up, when people start getting tired of policies, people will come out and speak. I think people will come out and speak.
But when will that time be? And I don't like the reference to Hong Kong because I don't like violence. I don't want to start running. I don't want to start running from my house. That's what I'm saying.
It's not about from the violent angle, from when we have human rights activists. I'm talking about from the activist point of view, not from the protest. I'm talking about activists started writing. People started writing. We started seeing articles online. We started people communicating with UN, United Nations. Start talking about policies, things affecting their nations. Even right the route to the United States. And some days back, even the president of the United States actually passed a law, something related to that on their democracy. So when people start speaking, people start talking, it will help a whole lot. How can we do these groups? We should not stop.
No.
School groups.
Let's pause now. Talking about groups.
Okay.
I like what is happening in River State. A lot of people, young people, have been gathering. You know, we've had so many festivals. I cannot call names right now, so I don't give free publicity to these people. But there have been a lot of hangouts in River State, Port Harcourt City to be precise. In your opinion, more to you, Priya, because you're the entertainment guy. More to you, me and Marcus, we're more spiritual than entertainment. You're more like entertainment guy. Do you think that these gatherings are really productive? Now, for unity, yes, bringing the young people together. But do you think that when we have these gatherings, these hangouts, do you think that we get to be productive, or is it all about drinks and gist and beer and play and sexual? What is the word? But you get the point. Sexual passes and all of that. Or do we really talk business? Or do we really talk, this is how we're going to grow the real estate economy? Or do we really talk, this is rebuilding up businesses and what is it? What is it really?
I feel like some hangouts that I've heard of. First of all, it was basically let's just drink, let's just have fun. But people started talking about business. When it starts affecting them, policies will be made. They will discuss on policies, government policies, with time. When it affects them, because it's affecting everybody right now. When it comes to the policy of border closure, which also have its positives and negatives. Yes, we need to talk about all this stuff. How can we assist the government, or how can we criticize the government when necessary, positive or negatively? I think Nigerians are actually talking, but some are scared of, if you say things, you'll be prescribed as being an anti-government, and some persons will also feel like if you say things, you'll be looked like the other guy that wants to bring down the government. But with time, people are talking. But the most important thing, not just on the negatives, let's talk about the positive too. So the government will know that we're actually criticizing constructively. That's the word.
A lot of people have said. Okay, before I ask that question, let me open the phone lines, because it is 28 minutes gone past the hour 7 already, and I want everybody to contribute. Now we are declaring the state of emergency for the young people in our society, in River State in particular. I mean, like I said, this year, We've seen cultism at its peak. We've seen kidnapping at its peak. We've seen fraudsters at their peak. We've seen a lot of things. We've seen a whole lot of things that have affected the young people in our society, especially during the election period or electoral period. And the question is, I really need your opinion. I really need your wisdom on this one. What do you think is the mentality of the current state of the mentality of our young people? And if you think it's bad, how do we move them from the bad state to where they should be? If our youth or youths cease to exist, then Nigeria itself or ourselves ceases to exist. And because they are the future of tomorrow, by the way. They are the future of tomorrow. So 0817 000 0951 and 0810 951 0951. You can send in your WhatsApp messages to the number 0701 933 9962. I missed that call. Sorry about that. You call us back and let's have the conversation. But then I wanted to ask a question.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people have blamed the government. They have said the government is responsible for stifling the progress and the growth of the young people in our society. Okay. But looking at some of the things that you all have mentioned on the show tonight, do you think the youths are ready to take on the task of taking Nigeria to the next level?
No, because
before we get to, because you said no. Okay. What's your take, Marcus?
I think
yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
You think the youths are ready?
Ready, yes.
To take on the task, to take on the mantle?
Yes.
Why did you say no? Why did you say no?
I said no for just one important reason. Remember back in the day, before we got our independence, the likes of Nnamdi Azikiwe, Awolowo, they started their youth pressure group movement at a very young age. Some in their 20s, some in their 30s. They started moving to make sure that they gave Nigeria independence. It was very difficult to give a country independent status, but they forced it, they push it with intellectual property, with discussions, with conversations, and we got our independence. And they ruled us for a while till they got to their their 50s and 60s. Okay. Came to even the time of the military. Young military men took over government. We all know nobody likes the military era, but it was young persons in the military that took the military by storm. A typical example, the likes of Yakubu Gowon. He was the head of state in his 30s. When they're ready, you go out there, you move, and you get what you want. You cannot just sit down there and everybody will just pick you up, clean you up, pack you up, and put you in the seat of power. No, you have to push for it. And I think the youth are not ready to push for it, because if we push for it, we'll get results. What happens because they're not too young to rule bills. It's already signed. What's happening to the young persons? Contest for presidency. We should not be scared of doing these things. Come out, let's play politics. Let's go out there, let's go to the field, let's contest, let's give out our visions, let's change the mind of the youth, then we can actually get there. But if we still sit down, then there is a no for me, because the guys that made this country what it is today, they actually started it in their young age. The first governor of Rivers State, I will say this, Sir Alfred Spieth, he was a governor in his 20s, and he forced most of the development and mental strive you see in the state was actually started by him. So I think we are not ready. When we are ready, we'll push for it and we'll get it.
All right. What about you?
I said the youth are actually very much ready if given the right opportunity,
Now, for someone to give you the right opportunity, you first of all have to show capacity.
Yeah, showing of capacity here, the youth are actually available to contribute their quotas to the development of their country. But what we see in the society is quite different. The elderly discourage the youth. Instead of encouraging us to come on board to do the right thing, they use us to do the negative thing for their own interior motive, for something not good in the society.
All right, then.
And that alone, for me, if the elderly would choose to do the right thing, to groom even the ones that are upcoming in terms of politics or in any other fair, then I think the youth are actually ready to be groomed.
Let me go back to history again. Abat Macaulay was in his 80s when he started the movement. he was leading the biggest political party in Nigeria. Then Nnamdi Azikiwe came in with a whole lot of strength. He had to step down. He had to merge his party with that of Nnamdi Azikiwe, the younger person, because he saw the pressure.
But
and
do we have any young person so vibrant like that? In your opinion, do we have any young person?
That's why I said we are not coming out. We are not coming out.
It's because the situation we met on ground is actually not helping us to come out.
But then again, you know, going by the history that Priye has, you know, given us tonight, fighting for independence was a very tough one. I mean, you're taking it from colonial masters, and they fought, and they were young people. That's what he's saying. I mean, think about it. But let's take his phone call now. 95.1 FM. Hello. Hello.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. What's your name and where you calling from?
I'm Mr. Ugu.
Mr. Ugu, welcome.
Thank you. Let me just quickly go to the one saying if the youth are free, or does it mean that maybe from the elders? Let me tell you one thing. In this country where we find ourselves, you can see there is nothing the youth can do to retain power in this country. Nothing. That one is fallacy.
Why do you feel so?
Why? Because look at the country where we are. Somebody will be head of state, military time. At the same time, he will come for civilian time and become head of state also. Look at how that thing, where one person will be king and after you rule finish, you come back, you rule again. Then after late Yaradua, you see the second Yaradua will come, just like that. So what I discovered in this country is that the people that actually work towards the colonization, that is, work towards the independence, they already had a very serious agreement between the British and them. And it is obvious that whenever somebody will be president, the thing will come from that side. So nothing.
Let me pause you there, Mr. Ugu. Now, let me agree with your speculations or your propaganda theories that, you know, the people keep handing over powers to their family members or their cronies. Can we not break that jinx? Can we not break that yoke as a youth group? That is the question tonight. That is why I'm asking you, what is the mentality? Is it a mentality of weakness? Is it a mentality of strength? Or is it a mentality of hopelessness or a mentality of the future is bright? What is the mentality of the young people in our society?
When you come, breaking that yoke is not possible. I have said it. Why it's not possible is that those people that have been in power, they have taken it as if the thing belongs to them. No chance. If you dare do anything that you want to do, anything that will take over that power from them, they will kill you. They will hunt you to the stage of.
But they can't kill all the young people. That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's why I say the youth group. I'm not saying one young person. I'm saying the youth group. All of us together. Marcus, Priye. When I was young, I would have joined, but now I'm old. I'm listening.
Excuse me now. Let me take you somewhere. If I call you to come down and do a protest with me, you can remove the governor of this state. Can you do that?
Why would you want to remove? Why would you? I'm not the one who's got. I mean, we've got the House of Assembly who's supposed to do that. Now, number one. Wait. Now that is not. Wait. Now I cannot just go and remove the governor of the state. I mean, there has to be a cause. There has to be a reason. How do I give out what example? Now, let's say we know we have evidence. I'm not saying the governor did it, but let's say we have evidence that the governor has committed a crime. Then it's right for the people to come together and now go to the House of Assembly and say, hey, impeach him. But you going out to remove him is against the law because that's not what the Constitution says.
All these things you are saying already, everybody know that. But the opportunity is not given for us to do that.
Because we have not created the opportunity. They're not going to give you the opportunity. You're going to create the opportunity. But
who will give you the opportunity? When you speak, your opinion is not heard.
But I heard your opinion tonight.
It is you that heard my opinion, but the people, just what we are speaking to, they are hearing, they have agents. But at the end, nothing will happen.
All right then. All right, then. Thank you very much, Mr. Go, for calling.
Mr. Kalada, let me just give a little history. Like 1999 till
You've been
date.
giving a lot of history.
A lot of history tonight.
What's happened? But hold your history. Hold your history there. 95.1 FM.
Yeah, good evening, Canada.
Chris, right?
Yeah, this is Chris.
Did you go to Dubai? Your voice sounds very different these days.
No, just coming back from service. Well, a wonderful service today.
All right then. Welcome.
Yeah, for Nigerian politics, and you sound as if you are just coming back from the moon, or you are not in this country. I don't know if you. At times you do read news. What is happening in this country? See, it's not possible. See, all these bills that you say not too young to run. I told you last time when this bill was coming up, I told you that this is just a policy. They want to use it and calm the youth down. See, we have vibrant youth. Look at some of those young men.
Call one for me. Call one that you know. Vibrant youth.
No, even your guest there. Even your guest there. I think I'm listening to that guest. You're educated now. If we can get this type of person as a head of state, don't you think that he can turn things around? So
I don't think. I mean, we need someone with experience.
No, you see, listen, some of the people that you bring to the studio to analyze some issue, it seems like if you put them in the affair of the government, they will turn things around now. Look at the type of somebody, this kind of person that with this kind of idea, he can know how to use this and do this. Even me, if you put me there, I know what to do. If you ask me to cook soup, vegetable soup, I will cook it fine. But look at some of the people. You ask them to go there and cook vegetable soup. They are doing as if they don't know how to cook the soup.
All right.
Now, listen, Mr. I was once a young boy. I was in primary school when this president was ruling me. Why did he come back again? What is he looking for? What did he forget in that rock?
All right.
What is he looking for? I want to know.
Chris, thank
How
you.
come now you are asking us to give us chance? When my own turn will be, is it when I grow old?
Maybe
when you're ready.
Maybe when you're ready.
You are leaders of tomorrow. Is he in this country?
All right then.
Am I not a youth?
All right then. Thank
Let
you.
them scrap that sign of youth. And nobody is youth here to be. Tell me youth that are ruling us.
All right then.
Elderly people that are supposed to.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I hope they're doing their permits very well as well. But you were going to tell us some
about the history.
Okay, I think the phone lines are buzzing. You just have to wait one more time. 95.1 FM.
Yes, good evening to you, my very good evening.
Yes, Mr. Zion.
Thank you
welcome.
very much. Also to the brother in the studio. How are you doing?
We're fine.
Fine, thank you, sir.
The Nigerian youths are very lazy.
All right then.
They don't reason. They cannot reason.
Maybe because they don't read anymore. I mean, the press.
They don't read now. Do they read before? They don't read. They don't even think. So they lack imagination. They can't even imagine anything.
Interesting.
The population of the youth in this country is more than the population of the elderly people. Do you know that the youth enjoy suffering? The youth of this nation, this country.
How do you mean?
A large number of them.
Explain. How do you mean?
Elections. 2015. Sorry, 2019. Right. If the youths are not comfortable with poverty, they can muster and support just one youth to help them out of this problem.
But then that's the problem. Who's the youth that they will support? That's the question I've been asking all evening.
No, not who is the youth. They cannot even support themselves. Is it you they will support? Average Nigerian youth cannot support himself. Average Nigerian youth, you can't even see 40,000 naira in his account.
Actually, I don't have 40,000 naira in my account. So yeah, maybe you're right.
So tell me, how can he help you? How can he support you? Do you know that the political class understood this, and in perpetuity they brought in poverty and illiteracy upon them? Let us suppress them the more, so that they will keep supporting us.
All right then.
Average Nigerian youth prefer you to give him 500 naira. Let him just manage at that moment and to think further. Average Nigerian, you come out to the streets now, you see a girl going to sleep in a man's house. For how much? 500 naira. Average Nigerian youth now, go and check him. Either there is a drug behind him or alcohol behind him, or he's thinking how to commit one crime or the other. Average Nigerian youth. So how can such person help you that is not even thinking of his future? Poverty and illiteracy made us to build up choleric set of youths. They are choleric.
How do we change the narrative? How do we cause the paradigm shift?
One, people like you and I, you start holding up programs to conscientize them.
I'm holding up a program. What program are you holding?
Like what you are doing now.
All right then.
That is how we should keep on doing it. You bring in the program, Mr. Zion will talk. Some other person. Do you know that today, even the so-called NANS, National Association of Nigerian Students, that are supposed to be a pivot in bringing the youths together as one, is being politicized? Go to the universities now, even common SUG elections, they are fighting themselves.
It's a gunplay now.
It's not a SUG election.
It's a gunplay.
Is that the kind of youth that will come and support you to run for governor or for president? The truth is this: we don't even have youths. So what we have is still toddlers who we fade into. We just disintegrate, and what here is obituary. Until we get to that point, we see youths who can reason. What can I do? Who will do it for us? How can we do it together? A coming together syndrome. That is the only way out. Before I leave the floor, look at the ones who carry arms to fight for the Niger Delta in the name of militancy. Sure, they gave them peanuts. They all ran away. You hear their voices again?
No.
Mr. Zion.
Signing out. All right then. Thank you very much for calling in. All right, so let's hear your issue now.
Yeah, I wanted to say something. Most of the governors we have here, they have been in power for like 20 years. They started when they were in their youthful stage. A typical example, even the governor of River State was a local government chairman when he was quite young in his 30s. So what are we saying? It's just that if you're serious, go out there and get the position. If you sit back and expect people to just pick you up and just put you there, it's going to be difficult. You have to participate in politics.
All right. When you say participate, are you talking about godfatherism? That's another angle. But I'll get back to you. 95.1 FM.
Good evening, Canada.
Yeah, Cody, welcome.
Thank you, brother. I don't think that the problem is the youths. The youths are following the examples led by the elders.
How do we change? How do we change the narrative then? If they are following the examples of the elders, how do we change the narrative?
We can change it if the elders can revise their own footsteps.
Interesting.
They should have a better footprint on which these youths will march as they move along. Loot, theft, corruption, very negative narratives that are dominant in our society. If the elders can effect changes, I'm sure the youth will follow them behind.
But the elders are not willing to change because corruption is tripling every day. It's getting worse. Think about it. The elders are not ready to relinquish power. So how do we change the narrative without the elders?
The youth cannot be changed as long as the elders are not prepared to change.
All right then.
That is the true position. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much for calling in. Thank you very much for calling in. Oh my! It's been wonderful having these submissions from these people who have called in. And I was wishing I could get younger people to call in and try to tell me the challenges that they face. Tell me why you are doing the immoral stuff that you're doing. What is that challenge? What is that thing? If you're listening, the numbers are 0817 0000951 and 0810 9510951. Now let's get to the story now.
Okay. I made mention of all the politicians we have now, including the head of state. He was a governor when he was quite young in his military days. So I feel if you sit back, nobody will give you power. You have to come out there and seek for that power. A typical example, Donald Trump. He contested under.
How
Yeah.
do you seek for the
You
power?
have to come out. You have guys that are in the professional industry, people that are sitting down and say,
When you
politics
say,
is not
no,
my
see,
thing
see,
or something.
see, listen, now I understand where you're coming from, but how? Now we have spent most of the hour talking about the environment, talking about how the politicians stifle and how policies do not enable the young person express all of his abilities. I mean, we've been talking about it, and that's why a lot of people have gone into fraudulent activities. Slay queens, left, right, center. I mean, we've talked about all of that. But now, how do we reconstruct society? That's the question.
When the majority of the people, which are the useful
We know
population,
that.
involved in politics,
How?
register as
When I
register in
say,
political parties.
when I say
Yeah.
how do you intend to cook vegetable soup like Chris mentioned? What you would say is you would buy ugu leaf, you would buy this, you would buy that, then you mix it, you boil
So the
meat.
basic is register for a political party. That should be the very first stage. As a professional, some persons will say politics is not my thing. I don't do politics.
But must we change the narrative only via politics?
Yes.
Can we not change
Yes.
it through any other means?
We need to change the politics because politics affects every other angle of our life. The economy, finances, every part of our society is being controlled by politics.
Now, do you know that Dangote is not a politician, is a businessman?
Yeah.
But to a larger extent, I do not have proof to this, but
Okay.
in my own opinion, to a large extent, Dangote influences a lot of economic decisions that go on in Nigeria and Africa at large.
Yes. And when
But-
the economy of Nigeria
wait,
struggles, Dangote suffers.
But my point is, he's not a politician.
Yeah.
He's a businessman. So must we all go through the political front, or can we begin to make little changes? Because when we all say, "Oh, a youth must be, a governor, or a youth must be a president," then I feel like we get it all wrong. We get it all wrong. Can we not, from our own immediate environment, from whatever sphere that we find ourselves in, begin to impact that change? Like me now, I am a journalist and I run Youth Arise, and I have brought up this topic for discussion, and that is me impacting my society in my immediate environment. Can we, yet again, young people, can we not cause that paradigm shift in your classroom, in your workplace, in your church ground? Can we not bring that paradigm shift that says, young people, we must make the Nigeria of our dreams?
We can, but I will say this: everything in Nigeria is affected by what policies of government. Who controls the government? The politicians. So if we sit back and we let the politicians control the system, we will suffer at the end of the day. So how can we change this when we not just sit back and observe them do their thing? And there was this and I saw the governor of River State. He attended two churches, big churches in Nigeria, and he told the Christians, people are sitting there, people are not coming out to vote. Come out and vote. Don't sit at home then complain at the end of the day. How many of you are registered members of political party?
Prayer is the key. Prayer is the key.
Prayer.
No, I'm just being sarcastic. But let's get what do you think?
Okay, I think we can actually contribute our quotas to the development of this country by doing our very little in our environment and where we find ourselves. And that is where I think the change of this society can actually start from. You as a church leader, social organization leader, pastor, you as a youth president in your church, what positive change are you bringing to the table that will help to groom the minds of these youths put under your custody? That's why it is from there that we can affect the larger society, which where politics come in. Now, if we don't run good leadership, if you don't have good leadership traits as a person and groom yourself from there, you will not, just like what you said, that we have to wrestle for power. But can I tell you that even when you wrestle for power, now when you don't actually put yourself in the front there to show the capacity that you can actually do it, you may not be given that opportunity. And so what what do we need to do then? Is from our little place that we find ourselves, let's effect the change that we desire to see in the larger society right there.
Yeah.
In the family, as a father, effect the change you want to see in the society right from the family, so that your children can actually learn from you as a leader. Now, if we all wait till when we become political tycoons in Nigeria, then that may not be possible. Now, in our little corners, as a leader, ensure that what we need to do is do your best to contribute to the development of Nigeria from where you are. So if we must not wait till we get into politics.
You know why I made mention of politics? I've
Yes.
seen bright minds,
Yeah.
great persons in our society, medical doctors, engineers, lawyers. They are smart. They can actually make good changes in our society, political phase, and they say, no, politics is not my thing. When you tell them,
What if politics is not their thing? I mean, I don't feel like I'll be a great politician. I tell myself that every day. I do not feel, because I might just go up there and eat all of your money. I don't need to get there. Yeah. And so I know my weaknesses, and I don't want to be a politician. And so what I will do is basically say, oh, you know what? From where I am, put fire on the butt of all the leaders, so that they all be on their toes and they'll be up and running. That's how I want to affect my society.
Can you check the ratio of the people that casted vote and the population of Nigeria? The disparity. It's quite poor.
I agree with you.
Understand.
So it's not by just politics, not just by contesting for political position. Go out there, cast your ballots. Belong to a political party. Be a delegate. Go out there, vote in the political party and the primaries.
All right.
Affect the changes. Then definitely there will be change in Nigeria.
All right. Let me take this call then.
Okay.
95.1fm.
Yeah, Mr. Zion, I called back.
All right.
Briefly.
All right.
The truth is this. We, the youth, the only way out is to fully participate in politics. Without politics, we will never get it right. Mr. Kalada, if you like, present this your program every day to the next. The way out is for us to involve into politics.
All right.
Your program can only be a pivot to bring us to have one voice. Let the youth have just one voice. Do you know that they just concluded elections in Bayelsa State? There are graduates who don't have jobs, but they told me, Mr. Zion, for us to vote, we need 3,000 naira.
That's in your place, Agbama, right?
A graduate is telling me, Mr. Zion, without 3,000, we will not vote. And I look at this guy, he's a youth. A jobless youth in Bayelsa State that is a graduate.
And that's why he needed 3,000. I mean, he's jobless.
Except we'll give this guy an orientation. That is why the so-called education is a problem also. The kind of educational system we have is programmed to fail the youth. Average Nigerian youth that is comfortable with a very good job, a good salary, he will not even think about politics. Look at our uncle, E-Money, we call E-Money. The guy is a stupendous billionaire. But does he think about politics? No, sir. He's comfortable. Well, am I also comfortable with the situation, if you ask me? But if, for instance, we have one conscientized youth like Mr. Zion, who can be supported by the youth?
Like Canada, you mean?
Do you know that our policy, the first thing both of us will tackle is to subsidize education, or even talk about free education, which is a major thing the youth they needed. Most of the graduates we have today, they are half-baked. And look at the ones still in school now. Ask them, why are you in school? So that I can have a certificate to give me a job. So the only thing that keeps this child busy is examination. After examination in that school, there is nothing again. Nothing to... The youth, we need more programs so that we can conscientize them to start having one voice so that we can vote out these old politicians and vote in youths who can stir up the political scene that can give us a better life, a better society, and a better youth.
All right,
This is Zion.
This is Zion signing out once again. Thank you very much for calling in. But this is where we get around it up. Final words, guys. Final words.
My final was basically use. If you're a professional, you're still in school, don't leave politics for the politicians. Come out there, register, get a voter's card, the list. Think of the next election. The ratio is so poor for people that are coming out in during elections.
All right, then.
Yeah.
All right.
As a youth, you actually have a voice in this country, but that can only be made possible when we decide to do the right thing ourselves. So let's do the part of doing the right things, contributing rightly into the society. We can actually bring a change with desire.
And I am Canada, and I'm asking you to stay tuned to Today 95.1fm because I've got the big stories up next. Don't go nowhere.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM. Board Hardcore. News update.
All right, good evening and welcome to the Big Stories. The Big Stories is the current affairs program on your premium radio station Today, 95.1 FM, where we review events and issues that made news headlines over the past 7 days. We begin this week's edition of the Big Stories in River State, where on Monday, President Muhammadu Buhari, I beg your pardon, we begin this week's edition of the Big Stories with story from on Monday, where President Muhammadu Buhari urged judicial officers in Nigeria to work towards the creation of special courts to assist in the speedy administration and dispensation of justice in the country. Now, speaking at the opening ceremony of the 2019 biennial All Nigeria Judges Conference of Superior Courts in Abuja, President Buhari said the move was to remove administrative bottlenecks in the judicial process. The president said he was not unaware of the challenges facing the judiciary, over which he had discussions with the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Muhammad. He added that his government had been committed to a number of justice sector reforms, such as review of extant laws and enactment of new laws that would improve the lives of Nigerians. President Buhari said his administration was committed to the economic revival of the country, especially by attracting foreign investment as well as fighting corruption and insecurity, and called for the support of the judiciary in that regard. In another development, President Muhammadu Buhari said the rehabilitation of internally displaced persons in the country was urgent and imperative and could constitute a big problem for the country in future if not well managed. President Buhari said this while receiving the president of the 74th United Nations General Assembly, Nigeria's Professor Tijani Muhammad Bande. He said most of the displaced children do not know their parents or where they come from, which calls for the urgent need to properly rehabilitate them. The president urged the president of the UN General Assembly to make Nigeria's challenges glaring to the world. Speaking earlier, Muhammad Bande said he was at the State House to express appreciation to President Buhari for the support leading to his emergence as the United Nations General Assembly president and the continued cooperation from Nigeria. Still on Monday, Federal High Court in Abuja granted bail to the chairman of the defunct pension reform tax team, Abdul Rashid Minor, in the sum of 1 billion naira with 2 sureties in like sum. The court directed that both sureties must be serving Nigerian senators with no criminal cases before the court and must have fully developed landed property in Mayatama or Asokoro district of Abuja. The bail condition also included that the sureties must also submit 3 years tax clearance certificates and must appear at all further court rulings with the first defendant. The former chairman of Pension Reform Tax Team was being tried by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) over an alleged 2 billion naira fraud. Still on the same day, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the February 23, 2019 poll, Atiku Abubakar, returned to Nigeria. Atiku returned after spending about 7 months in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates (UAE). The PDP presidential candidate who left Nigeria in April remained in the UAE over alleged plot by the current government to prosecute him. Here in River State, The state government was criticized over bad spots on major roads and the non-availability of alternative routes in areas where flyovers were being constructed. Chairman of the Rivers State Civil Society Organization, Nefa Georgiel, who made this known to newsmen in Port Harcourt, advised the governor to adopt international best practices by removing bad vehicles from affected roads. Georgiel, however, urged state government to go beyond empathizing with Rivers people by providing alternative routes in the areas where flyovers have been constructed, which he said was being delayed. He also stressed that the deplorable state of Inkpolu axis of the east-west road should be fixed by the state government, as according to him, Rivers people were the main beneficiaries of the road.
The Rivers Civil Society organizations wish to use this medium to commend the Rivers State government for the construction of 3 flyovers, but more importantly, thank the governor for sympathizing with Rivers people via the state brokers on the sufferings they are going through as a result of this construction. Our civil society coalition, however, think that the governor should go beyond sympathizing with Rivers people by fixing all the alternative roads and adjoining streets to the location of the flyovers. We specifically call on the Rivers State government to fix the failed portion of the Inkpolu Rumigbo sections of the east-west road and ask for refund from the federal government. Construct drainage on the road leading to Inkpolu and Rumigbo communities. Fix all the bad spots on all the alternative routes. Remove all abandoned vehicles at Gada Street, Cocaine Village. Make public announcement on the alternative routes to cushion the sufferings of citizens within the 16 months of this project. This for us is international best practice.
Lastly, on Monday, some ex-Niger Delta agitators protested to the office of the Presidential Amnesty Office in Port Harcourt to demand for the payment of their unpaid monthly allowances. The protesters, who were mainly ex-militants involved in the ongoing training on power transformer repairs, stormed the office in GRA, claiming that they were being owed about 3-month arrears of over 200,000 naira each by the Amnesty Office. The leader of the protesters, Nye Oyunkuro, in an interview threatened to seal the head office of the Presidential Amnesty in Abuja over the delay in payment of their arrears.
We are here agitating